All right, class. So welcome to today's seminar. It's called Awareness and Prevention of Pregnancy. I'm Patrick Sullivan. I'll be your instructor today. As most of y'all are high school students, y'all been over the anatomy of how sex works and how pregnancy occurs. What we're going to do today is we're going to go over the effects of pregnancy and ways to prevent it. We're going to go over some prevention methods as well, and some of the factors that contribute to it. So by the end of some of the objectives that we have for today, you'll be able to identify factors that contribute to teen pregnancy, be able to show appreciation for the impact of teenage pregnancy, and be able to show an understanding of the concepts and methods of contraception. So first off, I'd like to get us started off. We're going to watch a little video here. It's about 10 minutes long, done by ABC, and it covers the hardships that three teenage mothers and fathers and their families will go through. We'll see the homecoming queen, homecoming king, the father that's working two jobs, and we'll be able to see the effects and the impact that has on these pregnancies have in their lives, and their lifestyles. First off, let's go over some statistics. According to the CDC, the rates of teen pregnancy have been declining. They're on the way. They're on the way down. That's due to education and awareness in classes like this. Teen pregnancy and childbearing brings substantial social and economic cost. It is. It's not only it doesn't not only cost money. Babies are expensive. Um, it, it it also changes your quality of life, and we'll see why later. It changes your lifestyle. Um, 2010 teen pregnancy accounted for at least 9.4 billion in cost to U.S. taxpayers for increased health care and foster care, incarceration rates among children and teen parents, lost tax revenue. It's not just a burden on the mothers and the fathers and the families. It's a burden that's spread out through all of our society as well. Pregnancy and birth are significant contributors to dropout rates. Only 50% of teen moms receive a high school diploma by 22, versus 90% who don't give birth during adolescence. And this to me is the biggest detriment to teen pregnancy. This is the lack of education. Creates a snowball effect. We'll go over some. We're about to go over some more stuff here, but it creates a snowball effect that affects the child's life as well, and you can see down through generations. Uh, children, children of teenage mothers more likely to have lower school achievement, drop out of high school, have more health problems, be incarcerated, give birth as a teenager, face unemployment as an adult. So this is the hardships that these, because of lack of education, the lack of being able to get a quality job, we're having to work two jobs, not being home. These children suffer, and they tend to repeat um, the mistakes of their parents, unfortunately. Adolescents with mothers who give birth, um, or whose mothers have only a high school degree, are more likely to have baby before the age of 20 than our teens who are older and attended some college. Um, so this is, this again, it's, we see this trickle down effect. It does affect the in different ways, but it does affect the child. Community level, adolescents who live in wealthier neighborhoods with strong levels of employment are less likely to have or father a baby than neighborhoods with lower income and less employment opportunities. Again, we see it has to do with the way that the child is raised. We have a less income lower income neighborhoods, less employment opportunities tend to be more broken homes, and unfortunately, it's the child that bears the burden of that. This is just a graph which breaks down by race, 15 to 19-year-old females birth rates from 91 to 2013. So we see a significant decline till 2011, then kind of leveling off a little bit. We're still declining slightly. We'd like to see that a little bit more. And then let's go to this next. This next picture shows birth rates by state in 2013. You tend to see a geographical correlation here. What I want to stop and talk about for a little bit, why do you think there is a geographical correlation here, or are there other factors at play? And then at this time, we're going to take probably 10 minutes to discuss this. And we'll find that if I tended to lay out and strength of these states' economy and the median income in these states, it would probably match up fairly well. For the most part, there would be a few outliers, but you'd see across the southeast, the south, obviously we have lower median incomes, and it goes back to the stats we just talked about. All right, what I'm going to do now, we're going to break up into groups, and what we're going to do is we're going to go over a few different things. I want y'all to make a couple of lists for me. First list I want is a list of expenses that go along with having a child. Babies are expensive, so I want y'all to come up with things: diapers, baby food, whatever. I want y'all to think outside the box on this. Now I want y'all in the second list. I want additional responsibilities. I know y'all love to go out, have a good time with your friends. When you have a child, can't always do that. So, making sure the baby gets to daycare, changing diapers, just things that are going to cut into your lifestyle, so to speak. And then when y'all get done with this, I'm gonna give y'all about 10 minutes. And we're going to get together as a class. We're going to discuss all this. All right, great. That was a great conversation. Y'all had some, good ideas. Hopefully, y'all were able to think outside the box a little bit and kind of change your thinking. Then, babies are wonderful, but we want to have them when we're ready. Okay, so let's go over real quick. We're going to go over some prevention methods. That ways to prevent pregnancy. Abstinence, only a 100% effective method. Is it birth control? No. But, the safest way to not get pregnant, not to do anything. So let's cover some others as well. Natural family planning. This is something, it's fertility awareness. It's used both to prevent pregnancy and help you get pregnant. Withdrawal. This is the least effective method of prevention. Birth control pills. This is a great. This is a pill you take, oral contraceptive, take daily. Great way for women to control their prevention methods and not put the onus just on the male. Male condoms is a good form of barrier pregnancy prevention. 100% effective? No. Birth control shots. Again, it's a similar form of birth control as to the pill, just a shot every 3 months, so you're not having to take the pill every day. The birth control patch. It's a weekly patch. Again, similar to the shot and similar to the pill. Both of these are good because you don't have to. Sometimes it's hard if you miss a pill. That reduces the effectiveness of it. So this is ways that we can get around that. Morning after pill, also emergency contraception, also known as Plan B. It's a emergency. Again, it's emergency contraception that can be taken the next day after an encounter where maybe a birth control prevention method failed, a condom broke, one was not used. Um, and then finally, contraceptive sponge, one time use method, barrier form, um, cheap, does not require a prescription. All right, there's some factors that help contribute to pregnancy, such things as parents, peers, media. How how television displays pregnancy and sex, school, how education affects pregnancy rates. 80% of teenagers indicate that what their parents have told them and what their parents might think influences their decisions about sex. So we see this if we if we have a good parental structure at home, this really helps in lowering these birth rates. Um, I know y'all are having tough times with your parents, but we do see that the closer the bond and the communication between parents and child, that we have lower birth rates. More teenagers are satisfied with mother-child relationship. Again, it's we see if we have this good bond here that we'll see lower rates. Poor communication with parents about sex and safe sex practices and parental substance abuse are also linked with risky sexual behavior. So this communication is the key to all this, and creating these good relationships and is the key to lowering these rates. Peers, adolescents report that they are most likely to get information about sexual health issues from their peers. I mean, it's you go back to your childhood and your adolescence. Where was the first time you heard about sex? Your friends, the friends around you. So that is a huge part of it. Pressure to engage in sex increases during middle adolescence. Peer groups' attitudes about sex influence the attitudes and behaviors of teenagers. Again, your friends, and as we're all beginning to understand, what sex is. Um, there is this peer pressure there. Media. Um, More than half, 56% of all television shows contain sexual content. That's a lot. It's constantly in you know, in your life. As much TV as y'all watch, 56% is a lot. Um, Averaging more than 3 scenes with sex per hour. That's that's a lot. So there's this media influence there. A lot of shows like Teen Mom and all it this last this kind of there's some that do glorify teen pregnancy as well. Uh, Although media images of sex and sexuality may be socially defined as negative influence on teenage sexual decision making, there's a considerable potential for the use of media in conveying message about responsible sexual behavior. So media has a huge um, can have a huge influence. So it says, for example, more than one half of high school boys and girls indicate learning about birth control and pregnancy prevention from television. So, as much as the previous one, you know, television and media can be can help a lot. Okay, finally, we're going to school. Young women who are least successful in high school are the most likely to become pregnant. It's sad. Substance use and abuse are also factors in sexual decision making. 1/4 of sexually active high school youths reported using alcohol or drugs during the most recent sexual encounter. So we're not. So not only is school a contributing factor, substance abuse is a huge contributing factor because if you're out drinking, doing drugs, you're not making the best decisions. Okay, And so I just want y'all to kind of take some of this into consideration um, as y'all, as a review. I would ask the class, it would take probably 10 or 15 minutes to go over what are some types of prevention that we just covered. What are some factors that contribute to increased risk of teen pregnancy, and what are some negative impacts of teen pregnancy? So that's a few things that I would go over just in review to kind of open up discussion a little bit. And with that, class, again, I hope this has kind of changed your thinking a little bit. You have a little better understanding of the factors that go into teen pregnancy, the negative consequences, and how to prevent unwanted and unplanned pregnancies. Um, and I appreciate y'all's time and y'all's um, how y'all responded to this class, and y'all have a good day. Thank you.